Hello, learners. I hope you all are safe at your places, but we need to keep working on our studies. So, this is Preeti right with you so that we can have our online sessions. And today we will be looking into more content of our current chapter, that is, plants and animals in water. In the previous session, we discussed about the aquatic animals. So we are looking more into it. So we will be looking more of the such kind of animals only. But at this particular content is a little extra as per your books. So these are just the introductory part and certain interesting facts about these organisms. So don't worry if I'm not going to explain anything extra with this particular session. But it's just the introductory section, and you will be introduced to different kinds of organisms which are in the aquatic animal category only. So the first one which I have here for you is octopus. I know we all know that what exactly octopus is. It has four legs and it is the master of camouflage. Now what is camouflage is? Camouflage is basically the tendency of an organism to hide itself and change as per the environment. Generally, we give this particular credit and this particular feature with reference to chameleons, but apart from that, in aquatic world the same feature has been observed in octopus. Now the next one we have is squids. They look similar but they are different with reference to their internal structures and arrangements. Now the interesting fact that I have chosen for all of you over here is that squids have three hearts. That means they have three hearts. What exactly that means is that it needs lots and lots of functioning within the body. That is why it has this multiple number of heart. How many hearts do we have? Think. Okay, so we have one heart. Yes, you are correct. Now the next animal that I'm taking over here is the jellyfish. Now it looks completely different. It is not just like fish, a normal fish, but it comes under that particular category only because it shows the similar kind of features on the earth. Now one interesting fact that I have taken for you here is that it is one of the oldest living animals on earth. Yes, that makes it unique. Otherwise it is very small and sometimes it is not properly even visible in the water, but you need to be like you need to have very keen eye for that. But apart from that, this particular unique feature of this particular organism is very different. It makes it unique. Now another thing which I have mentioned for you is that it will going to absorb oxygen from water with the help of its skin. Yes, the skin will help in the process of absorption of oxygen. The next that we have taken over here is sea horses. Now these are the kind of fishes that swim upright. Normally what happens is that the fishes, they generally swim in horizontal manner, like this, in this particular direction, from this particular side to the other side. But if the same thing is happening in the vertical direction, that way we are saying that it is going to swim upright like this, from up to down. Oh, sorry, down to up. Anyways, now the particular type of organism have one another unique feature about apart from this upright swimming, that is it take care of the egg. Normally what happens is in this particular like normally what happens is that the females are the ones which take care of the young ones or the eggs, but here what we will see is that the males are taking care of the eggs, which obviously is a unique aspect. Anyways, apart from this thing, we have one more type of organism, that is the aquatic organism, and that one is water birds. Yes, water birds means these are the organisms which have bird-like body and bird-like features, but it is living and it is you can say residing in and around the water bodies. The examples that I have quoted for you is duck, swan, pelicans, flamingos, and there are some other examples as well which you can quote. Now there are certain extra points with reference to these two kind of organisms, that is ducks and pelicans. Now here we have mentioned that it is about the webbed feet which helps these particular organisms, that is ducks, in the swimming process as well as walking on the land. So this is the same feature which is similar to the frog that we were discussing in the previous session. And over here they breathe through the lungs because they are on the surface and they are not inside it, so they will require lungs for that. The other organism that we are focusing over here is pelicans. They have long beaks and they sometimes are found with long beak pouches, because of which what they do is they separate the dishes from the water. Dishes here means that what they are going to have. That means what exactly the feature of this particular organism is, that they hunt in the water and they take out their feed or their supper from the water itself. So with this particular feature of having a beak pouch, what they do is they take these things out of it very easily. Okay, with this we are done with most of the organisms which are the part of aquatic life system. Now we are moving to a unique organism which is known to everyone, but it has certain ill effects along with it. So we will be looking on that factor as well. And that organism is mosquitoes. Now, why I'm saying this thing, that particular type of organism is very very well known to everyone, but it has certain ill effects. The reason behind that is that it is the organism which causes lots and lots of diseases like dengue, malaria, and such things. So, what exactly the mosquitoes are? They are parasitic insects. That means they are going to feed on another organism, just like lices and termites, and apart from that we have ticks in our, like in case of our pets. So they all comes under the category of parasites which feed on other organism. Now the next thing is these organisms also feed on animal and human blood, like the examples which I have quoted to you, they all are coming under this particular category. Now, mosquitoes are generally the kind of organisms which breed in stagnant water. Now, I hope you all remember the meaning of stagnant water. That means this particular water will be standing and will not be flowing. Now, this water can collect anywhere like tanks, fields, or any other kind of place nearby us, which because of which they are the factors which leads to the spread of diseases like malaria, dengue, chikungunya, and other such things. Now, the next thing that we have to look into is the causes of malaria, that what exactly is the cause behind it. Now what happens is, in case of malaria, there's a specific kind of organism that we're going to focus into, that is protozoans. What exactly they are? They are small single-celled organisms, and these protozoans are the ones which are going to be entered inside the human body because of the mosquito. Mosquito carry these protozoans in their salivary glands, and when they bite a particular person, these protozoans are transferred to the human body or any healthy person through this particular sting, or you can say from the bite, mosquito's bite. So this is how the particular disease is caused, and this particular protozoan will start breeding in the body, due to which the condition of the organism become critical. Now, what are the symptoms of this particular disease? That is, first of all, you are going to have high fever. You are going to feel high fever. That means feverish. Next, the other thing is shivering. That you may feel cold out of it sometimes. In spite of the fact that it is feverish, you will start having the shiver attack. On the other hand, acute headache and vomiting kind of situations or conditions can be seen as a symptoms in this particular category of disease. Now, so if we are talking about the symptoms and causes, we also are going to discuss about the preventive measures. So what are the preventive measures? First of all, we need to cut off the reason of its breeding. That means we need to look into, take care of the factors like we are not going to allow the water to stand anywhere. Like if it is about a pot or some sort of container, tires, or water coolers, we are not going to allow the water to stand there, so that it can lead to the breeding. Now if it will going to stand there, the water, of course, then it will lead to the breeding, so we have to stop that. So we have to prevent this particular stagnancy of water or standing of water, collection of water specifically. Now apart from that, what we can do is we can use the repellents, mosquito repellents, mosquito nets we can use. And apart from that, there are certain other things as well, like electric nets has been used, because of which we can actually kill the mosquitoes which are nearby us. And making sure that the water does not collect anywhere, and keep emptying the containers in which in case the water is collected. Now we are moving towards the last topic of this particular session, that is about the involvement of humans in aquatic life. What happens is that there are various human activities because of which the aquatic life is hampered, or you can say it is damaged. That is why the human life is considered as a big threat to the aquatic life. Now, the bigger term which is given to this particular phenomena is that it is about the concept of water pollution, where we are actually adding undesired material or undesired things inside the water bodies, which is one of the biggest problem for our environmentalists and the people who are concerned with this, and of course the aquatic life. What happens is, because of this, most of the times it has been observed that various aquatic plants and animals are extincting. So that is a very, very big concern for various organisms. Now, next topic with this particular concept is that what exactly are the causes of water pollution. As we are discussing this thing and we are saying this thing that it is a threatful condition, and humans are responsible for this, but we should be aware of this fact that how exactly are we the cause of this particular situation. What happens is there are different kind of situations over here which are mentioned to you. Like the first one is showing that how the dirty water is added, the sewage water specifically, the water that is coming out of our homes, the dirty water. So that particular sewage water is added to the rivers or any other kind of water bodies. On the other hand, you can see that people throw unwanted waste inside the water bodies, because of which it starts accumulating on the surfaces of water bodies. As a result of that, the organisms which are living inside the water will start dying, and it will going to affect the particular this thing, life in the water body. Now, in this particular picture, you can see that there is this spilling of something. This something is basically oil. What happens is there are big containers in the ships which carry the oil from one country to the other country, and when they are traveling through the ocean, what happens is that by mistake or some technical errors, the oil is spilled in the water bodies. Now what happens is it makes it difficult for the aquatic organisms to breathe, because what happens is that this oil will not going to mix with water, it will going to remain there on the surface. As a result of that, the oxygen will keep on reducing, and the plants and animals inside the water body will die. On the other hand, this last picture shown to you is about the industrial waste, that is the waste that we add on from our industries, and it leads to the pollution. Now, if we are talking about the causes, of course, we'll look into the preventive measures. Now, the very basic concept is that if we know the causes, we can find out the preventive measures. So, here, as the causes which are given to you are quite clear. So, first of all, we have to stop doing all these things. And apart from that, there are certain other things also which we can incorporate, like we need to process the this thing waste which is coming out of industries. We need to process the sewage that we are producing. On the other hand, we should not mix the sewage water along with the mainstream water, or the water which is supplied by the municipal corporations or the governments for the drinking purposes. And of course, we have one more thing, that is wastewater treatment. This is a whole set of technologies and techniques here which are involved, and because of which we reduce the or you can say we decrease the damaging factor of wastewater energy, so that we can mix it with the water bodies. Now, this is the basic water treatment, this wastewater treatment system that is shown in the picture. Here you can see that the filtration, the clearing of water is done at multiple levels. So this is how we are going to reduce the drastic or damaging effect of this particular water, so that it can be mixed with the natural water flow. Of course, not the drinking one. Now, with this, we are done with the chapter, and I hope that you all will be able to understand the concepts that we are discussing about. If you have any problems regarding the content, then of course we can discuss about it anytime. And till then, prior to the next sessions that we are going to held in our future, be safe, be careful, but keep studying, as it is very important for all of you. All the best and stay safe. Be happy. Bye bye.